the playoff races remain as tight as a laced-up skate. A very active goalie ties an all-time ECHL record. And one of the league's new teams is trying to make this a season to remember. The solution to keep yourself from going crackers? Watch ECHL Week right now!
Hi, welcome to ECHL Week. We come to you this time from the Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis, home of the Indy Fuel. In the last couple weeks, the playoff picture in both Western Conference divisions has tightened considerably. In the Central Division, Toledo and Fort Wayne are slugging it out for the regular season crown. In fact, the Comets head into the weekend on a 13-game point streak. But we focus now on the race in the rest of the group. Just 4 points separate 4 teams in the struggle for only 2 postseason berths. Let's hear from Cincinnati head coach Matt McDonald.
It's a pretty unique division in the fact that I don't think there's been any real easy games by any means. You know, even though some of the teams are a little bit lower down, and you know there is that Toledo and Fort Wayne will be at the top, and then you got a couple teams in the middle, like you said, and at the bottom. But I don't think there's ever been a night in our division where we've been able to go in and play a lackluster game. It's always got to be the best of our abilities, and I think it's a very good division. Every team is making their push to try to get into that postseason, and you don't want to be falling behind at this point, especially with teams like Indy and Quad that are starting to creep up the standings as well.
In the Mountain Division, the real fight is for the division's final playoff spot, where 4 points separate 3 clubs. At the top, Colorado, Idaho, and Wichita seem fairly secure in their places. Here's Thunder head coach Malcolm Cameron discussing his roster makeup.
Our D-core has pretty much been the same all season long. Our forward group I had to completely rebuild due to some injuries long-term and a couple of trades that were out of kind of our hands that the Oilers made. So, but I like the depth that we have. We have 3 good lines and 6D and 2 good goaltenders right now. And I think most nights, if you play that way, you're going to come out on the right side. We're going back to the feast cycle here, where we're a little bit deeper in our roster, and hopefully we can start to get hot heading into the playoffs.
All of the games involving Mountain Division teams will be complete on April 7th. The Central Division clubs wrap up a day later. In just 5 weeks, we'll know the teams heading to the Kelly Cup playoff party.
Hi, I'm Zach Miskovic, the Indy Fuel, and you can tweet me at Zach Miskovic.
One of 2 teams new to the ECHL this season, the Worcester Railers, are doing their part to remain in the playoff hunt in the North Division. We recently spoke with some of their members to get their thoughts about playing for a brand new club, as well as assessing their postseason chances. Here's head coach Jamie Russell.
There's going to be 2 great teams in the North that don't get into the playoffs, but we want to continue to get better every single week and have our young guys. We've got a lot of rookies in our roster that are able to grow and develop and take strides in their game, and hopefully we'll be a team that's clawing and scratching and gets into the playoffs and makes some noise then.
Veteran Chris Lanko is second on the team in scoring, despite spending 7 games in the American League this season.
We know the division and we're in, and there's other teams that they're gonna keep winning and finding ways. So we got to beat the divisional games, and we got to start gaining some ground on these teams. And we have a team to make a playoff push, so that's kind of what our goal is.
Goalie Mitch Gillum is handling the majority of the work in the net right now.
We're playing a lot of divisional teams too, so every point counts. It's a 4-point swing every game pretty much. So each game's huge. You just got to take it shift by shift, period by period, and win some games.
Among defensemen currently on the team, rookie Ben Masella is the leading blue line scorer.
It starts with our owner Cliff, and it goes all the way down through the management team and to the players. And honestly, we have great support in our area and our community, and I'm very fortunate definitely to be playing for this team.
We check news from around the league next on ECHL Week.
NHL players have amazing talent, and some of the very best developed right here in the ECHL.
Beagles in, he scores!
Now, follow all your favorite ECHL alumni every night on NHL Network's primetime hockey show, NHL Tonight.
Both teams recognize how big this matchup is.
Fire save by Dubik, rebound! Goosebump stuff.
NHL Tonight, every night 6 Eastern on NHL Network.
I
I'm Jesse Mitchell of the Colorado Eagles, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Time for our weekly look at news from around the ECHL. South Carolina's Jeff Jokaitis earned his 25th career shutout last week, which tied him for the most shutouts in ECHL history. Jokaitis' 25th 0 came in his 225th league game. The only other goalie with 25 is ECHL Hall of Famer Mark Magliarditi, who recorded his 25 shutouts in 366 games. The 35-year-old Jokaitis made 32 saves in his record-tying performance. The Stingrays won the game over Brampton 1-0. A trade of note as the deadline for swapping approaches on March 8th. Atlanta has acquired defenseman Davis Van Dane from Toledo in exchange for forward Colin Jacobs. Van Dane had 21 points and a +21 rating in 48 games with the Walleye this season. The Gladiators will be his 6th ECHL stop. Jacobs had 22 points in 39 games with the Glads prior to the deal. He was a 4th-round pick of the NHL's Buffalo Sabres in the 2011 entry draft. Toledo is his 3rd ECHL team. He also has 46 games of experience in the American Hockey League. Remember to watch the next ECHL Week, which debuts on March 9th, for a complete wrap-up of the final week of trade activity. Your favorite team is going to win the Kelly Cup this season, right? But on the off chance it doesn't, if you live in one of 5 ECHL markets, you can see the Cup in person. The annual pre-playoff Kelly Cup Tour begins today in Norfolk. Through March, the Cup will travel to 5 ECHL cities, making appearances at games, schools, sponsors, broadcast outlets, and other community events. It'll put on 2,952 miles during its trek. Pat Kelly, Commissioner Emeritus of the ECHL, will be accompanying the trophy, which bears his name, on select stops. The Kelly Cup has been awarded to the ECHL postseason champion since 1997. Along with the Cup will be a special display that highlights the intensity and excitement of the Kelly Cup playoffs.
A North Division highlight game, and we hear from a Mountain Division broadcaster. Straight ahead on ECHL Week.
The ECHL season is here, and ECHL TV is your ticket to all the action. With streaming to your PC, phone, tablet, and now Apple TV, Chromecast, and Amazon Fire TV, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Plus, you can watch up to 4 games at once on PC with Quad View. Watch live or on demand with both home and away commentary. Single game, multi-game, and season passes are available. Visit ECHL.tv to subscribe.
Hi, I'm Garrett Mears of the Wheeling Nailers, and you're watching ECHL Week.
In case you're wondering, this is not a picture of a Fuel player, but they have been playing hockey in Indianapolis for a long time. Now let's take a look at our highlight game of the week.
Back the other way by the Royals, but unfortunately doesn't get to a Royal stick, and now Tim Harrison with a big hit on Tyler Brown. And with the shot that goes wide. Here's Paul Rodriguez again. Near side, one-timer Desmond Bergen, a shot, he scores! Goals in back-to-back games for Desmond Bergen, and the Thunder lead it 1-0. Zajac, near side now for Willows. Far side McCarthy, winds up and fires, he scores! Chris McCarthy goes posting in, and we're tied as the Royals score on the power play. Burke in over the line, drops it back now for Conacher, working it back for Troy Burke behind the Royal cage, out in front, it goes in! Troy Burke banked it! Thunder take the lead, 8:27 to go in the second, it's 2-1. Hit the highest part you can go on that glass. Giveaway in front. Tansky's shooting. He scores. We're tied as Scott Tansky even things up. 2 minutes and 32 seconds into the third period off of an Adirondack turnover. Matt Willows in over the Thunder line of the high slot. Edged aside by James Henry. Drew fielding up the wall now for Mercier. Backhands a pass for James Henry. Thunder will move it on a breakaway. Henry waits and shoots and scores! James Henry, overtime winner, 3-2 Thunder. A huge 2 points tonight for the Adirondack Thunder as they win it in overtime in front of a sold-out crowd in Coolin Schuring Arena.
Hi, I'm Steve McCauley from the Florida Everblades, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Voices of the ECHL. Today, Tommy Daniels of the Allen Americans. Tell us about your duties.
First and foremost, broadcasting. I do PR. I work on community relations. I also do social media. I help out with corporate sales, which is a big part of my summer.
What's your favorite road city to visit?
Brampton, and I know people are going, what, Brampton? You know, Brampton because first of all, I love the people there. Second of all, it's the closest game to my home. I'm from Buffalo, New York originally, so it's the one game where my family comes to the game to see the Americans and see me do my thing.
Do you have a special pregame routine?
I gotta send props out to my boy Mark Benetti in Rapid City because he actually introduced me to hot tea before the game. I had never, even thought about it for 7 years. And then, I said, why not? I'll just add this to my daily routine. He said, Tommy, try it. It's been great. It helps the vocal cords. I always feel looser now going into the games. And I always have my 5 bottles of water, on stash. But yeah, hot tea has been a routine.
Have a particularly memorable ECHL moment?
Game 7 ECHL Cup Finals a few years ago. First of all, it was our first year in the ECHL. And not many people gave us a chance to beat South Carolina. They were the best team in the league all year. And here we are coming from the Central League. And it goes to 7 games. And, nobody knew what was going to happen in that 7th game because it was pretty tight. But the Americans got a big win. Chad Costello, who I thought should have been the MVP that year, had a great game. And the rest is history. The Americans had their first Cali Cup.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week from Indianapolis. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget all those social media channels we have, all coming to you courtesy of ECHL Week. Keep up to date on everything that's going on in the league. We'll see you next time.